Well, good day there and welcome into the Export Beer Gardens studio for the Mad Monday podcast, brought to you as always by the legends at 4 and 20 Pies, the original fan food. Manaia and the Notorious Pantsman Joel Harrison streaming in from Sydney this morning. We've got the pitchforks out. Heads need to roll. We're going to start right at the top. Pantsman, whose fault is this? Where do we lay the blame?
Andrew Webster, he's got to go. It's first things good to be here again. Thanks for having me. But yeah, I mean, I think last time I was on here, it was we were 3-0. Life was looking good. I made a claim. I think it was a direct quote saying Andrew Webster's the next Craig Bellamy.
Mm-hmm.
We might have jinxed it. We might have got a bit ahead of ourselves. But yeah, it wasn't ideal viewing on Sunday, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was, I don't know, it was more of the same as what we saw against the Tigers. I kind of feel like this is probably, I don't know, just because I'm so depressed on a Thursday morning, but I feel like the scoreline almost flattered the performance that we put out there. Is that just because I was so hyped up off those first three games, though? Do you think?
I reckon it was. And I mean, I was there on Sunday in Shark Park in Cronulla, along with, it felt like half the crowd was Kiwis there as well. We're in there. It's like the New Zealand meet-up over in Sydney every time there's a Warriors away game. But yeah, there's nothing worse than going to an away game and losing, especially in a place like Cronulla, which historically the Warriors had a good record. I think we won the last 3 games in a row there. Last year we pumped in 40-10. It was great. The hopes were so high, but from the start of the game, it just looked like we were kind of a no hope at all. And like I was standing on the bank behind where Will Kennedy scored, and you can hardly see the screen in Shark Park as well. So we thought Braden Trindle just scored the first 2 tries, and it was like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's I mean, in that first half, he just sliced us to bits on their left edge, our right. He ran in 2 tries, I think, in the first half there. I think they scored another one down that side as well. What was going on there? That was where Chance is. That's where DWZ is. Is it a communication issue? You know, you've played in those positions recently, Joel, for the Mad Dogs. What were you seeing out there?
Yeah, look, it's I mean, I've been exposed in those positions before with players who are about 80 kgs dripping wet as well. So I can understand how CNK and DWZ do struggle, but it's an interesting one because we campaigned for this move for Tane Tuapiki to go to fullback and Chantu Cox started to go to centre, and it looked like in the last 2 weeks it's a move that hasn't paid off, but we're going to have to persist with it. And I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. Like I was looking at a few different ratings, and that Tane Tuapiki, it didn't seem like he played awful. Like he put in good effort. He stopped Sam Stonestreet when he made that runaway.
That was incredible.
It was a great effort player. It's just like, yeah, it just seems like every other fullback in the league besides Clint Gutherson can just create these magical moments out of nowhere, and it just seems like the Warriors are struggling to have someone do that at the moment.
Yeah, drive by on Gutho there. We interviewed Tane Tuapiki on the breakfast show the other day, and I said to him, I said, is one of your strengths actually your size? Because at every age grade you've come through, you've been the smallest player on the field, so it's nothing new to you to be the smallest player on the field, whereas some of these big guys, they get to the top level now, everyone's big. And Tane said, no, I'd probably rather be a bit bigger. I was like, yeah, no, that's fair enough. He goes, you probably can't afford to have too many of me on your team. But he said, I like to put my gloves up. And he really did put his gloves up on the weekend. I wonder, and again, someone who knows a bit more about rugby league than me would be able to answer this, but watching the games in person, Chance seems way more active on defence at fullback in terms of pointing players out. Everybody's looking back at him on defence to where they go. His arms are constantly up. And I just wonder if Tane has that same confidence to point that out. Like, could that be part of it?
Yeah, definitely. I do think a big part of being a fullback is communication. Like you see the good fullbacks, James Tedesco, he just seems like he's yelling. I mean, the 80 minutes of the game, he's just telling people what to do, and he just finds himself in these right positions. He's not a flashy fullback, which a lot of new ones are, but yeah, maybe that is a thing that we just totally missed and undermined with Chancellor Clockstad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that every game, I feel like every game I go to, probably similar to you, it's you don't follow it. It's harder to follow when you're watching a game live at the ground opposed to when you're
Yeah.
at home. Maybe that could be due to the 18 export goals or whatever it is. But yeah, it is a hard one to follow. But yeah, that you could have a pretty good point there.
The other one was it was when this happened. I think everyone around the country had the exact same reaction. It was the DWZ intercept, runaway, 100-meter try, and I think I had the same reaction as everyone around the country when I was like, well, yeah, but 99 times out of 100 that doesn't come off. The one time out of 100 you would hope he's going to go the full length. It was good to see one. Does that mean we're up for 99 consecutive jam-in tries now?
Yeah, I mean, look, DWZ, he didn't really have I thought that was one of his better games, even though it was a bit shaky on defense. He still scored 3 tries. That is the job of the winger.
Great finishes too.
Yeah, 100%. And the good thing is, I mean, 99.9% of the time when Dallin goes over, he has got it down, even though it doesn't look pretty sometimes. Even that runaway was like, I'm sure he could have just slid and put it down.
He pulled up. He pulled up like 15 meters out. It's like he was inviting the tackle.
Up.
Yeah.
It was, Black Caviar when he eased up in Royal Ascot 2012. It was, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. It's you don't want to pot one of the great warriors of all times, but a couple of weeks ago, there's when he signed to Wakefield Trinity, I was like, why are we letting him go? What's he doing? But maybe
you'd drive him to the airport now.
Well, I don't have a car here, so I couldn't, but maybe pay for his Uber. But I don't know. It did seem like the last couple of games, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, I don't know what it is. Has he lost confidence? He's making a couple more errors. He's kind of doesn't have the room to make these flashy plays that he used to. Maybe he doesn't have the legs to make these flashy plays like he used to. But I'm hoping that he can turn it around, and we can finish the season with the Roger Tuivasa-Sheck that we know and we love, and see a couple more great moments, because it wasn't ideal on the weekend.
I think that I think we forget that Roger, I mean, he's not old, but he's closer to the end of his career than he is the start. And I think what happens with players like that is sometimes they get to this point where once a month he's Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, and those other 3 weeks he's I guess what we saw on the weekend. But that one game every, month, 6 weeks, he could really turn a game on its head. Do you think AKP is close to taking a jersey off him? Do you think he's gone that far?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Look, I mean, I haven't actually been watching much of the New South Wales Cup games, but it seems like he's playing well from all reports. But it could be a case of he's scoring tries and making runaways, but he might be useless on defense, or he might be lacking communication. He might not want to take the hard yards, and you can't take that away from Roger. He does take hit ups, and I think he ran for 20 carries again, which is a great part of the game. It's just these
stop
these little
shitting on
areas. Yeah, I know. Can we edit that out, please? Maybe he is only 32. Like, what?
It's not that old.
I mean,
Don't ask me how old I am.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't good. And then, now we've lost Adam Pompey for 2 weeks as well.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Due to what? Due to what?
Racism. It's I don't know. What's the how? Yeah, he raised his knee due to playing good old hard footy, running it straight.
Yeah, running it up the nuts. This was is it Solomon Kato who got binned for a few weeks and he had to come back and change his running style?
I think, and Connie Harrell as well. It was the classic. It was just the classic move from both those guys. And then, a few years ago, Joseph Swaley, he got banned for 2 weeks. Satili Tupanua got banned for a few weeks as well.
Yes,
they both took it to the tribunal. They both failed. So I don't know who was telling Pompey to go take it to the tribunal, but I guess 1 week, 2 weeks. It's a shame, but I love Adam Pompey as well. He's one of my favourite players.
Yeah,
but I think it'll be good to see. It'll be good to see Ali Latau bring something back into the side as well, because I don't know.
What do we know about? What do you know about Rocco Berry? You frequent the same dance floors as him.
He said he's going to be back in round 8 as well. So we're currently heading into round 6. So he said he'll be good to go round 8 via Joel Harrison on Instagram. So he'll probably be back at round 15. But now hopefully he can he can come back into the side. He's been out for so long. And he's had such a harsh run with injury. So you
Yeah.
definitely want to give him a few games in the New South Wales Cup. Like it seems like it would be ludicrous to bring him straight back into the side. But yeah, finding the centre is proving harder than what we originally thought as the Warriors fans.
And it's annoying because it is Pompey. You know what I mean? He's the thing is, we want out of our centres. This is the thing about Warriors fans. We want Stephen Crichton at our centre, and we'd love to have Reece Walsh as our fullback. But Adam Pompey is actually exactly what we need. You don't have memories of Adam Pompey getting skinned inside or out. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
He can kick, all that kind of stuff. I think this one was a bit ridiculous because he was lifting his knee a little bit, but also the player was basically on his knees tackling him. So it's like, was it Britain Ecuador?
It was, yeah.
And it's like, I can understand if he was running at the line. Like some of those ones back in the day were blatant. I'm trying to knee you in the face.
What about Vunivalu from the Storm when he literally did the flying Dan Hooker knee through the line?
Yes.
I didn't even think he got banned for that.
No, he jumped to head height and put the knee in. And I saw a better podcast than ours. I forget exactly who it was talking about what if Paliacino was playing these days? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
He'd be getting banned for that every week. So
yeah, exactly.
It was a little bit ridiculous, but like you say, there was track record there of that kind of thing. You mentioned bringing Rocco Berry back through Cup. Should we potentially have been doing that for Metcalf? Because second game back, another probably unconvincing performance into a torn hamstring.
Yeah. I mean, it's just such an unfortunate run that he's had over his 43-game career, I think it is. It's just like every time, he's looking good, he gets shot down, and then maybe he was rushed back in. It's a tough one because we would have been campaigning for him to be straight into the starting side if he had gone and played in New South Wales Cup team, and we had lost the Tigers, which easily could have happened. Maybe Chanel wasn't ready, but he's back this week, so it's going to be interesting to see how he and Tanner Boyd goes because, the Luke Metcalf experiment was a bit of a failed one, but I mean, he's out for 2 to 3 weeks. Hopefully they can rehab him, and maybe this time they bring him through the New South Wales Cup sort of system and just give him a bit more time out on the field. Yeah,
what happens if we go, 3-0 again without Metcalf?
Yeah, well, I mean, we have the Storm this week as well, who we haven't won since 2015. Then we've got the Titans, who we normally lose to.
Bogey team.
We have the Titans, and then we have the Dolphins on the Anzac Day game, which should be a good one. So, we could go 3-0. You'd hope we go 2-3 at least. And, I mean, it's going to be a massive talking point.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also, I mean, we also did lose Mitch Barnett after that Tigers, and you can tell in a performance like the Sharks one, if we had someone like Mitch Barnett in there, I feel like he sort of holds performances together, and he doesn't let the standards drop in it. He doesn't let people drop their heads and stuff. And it did feel like there was players out there that looks like they don't want to be there. Maybe that's just the style of the way these young back rowers play, but I don't know. It just looks like sometimes when we start getting pumped, they don't want to be there. They don't want to do the tough carries and stuff. But,
that's a really good point. Because if he was in there, you're right. He would have told everyone to pull their heads in underneath the post, and then it would have been a bit better. And then you juxtapose that against what actually happened, which was another stone cold knock on from Jackson Ford. And so those two different things. It does. It swings the game quite a bit. You mentioned we got the Storm coming up this weekend. I know most Australians over there probably aren't picking us, but there is one. Have a listen to this audio for the 157 podcast.
Storm take on the Warriors at Amy Park, 7:30 Saturday.
Storm. Come on.
I'm going the Wires, boys. Fucking fire up, eh?
I don't mind that.
I need to get something fucking out of his, so if it's to
Yeah.
prove me wrong, then go do it.
Either you're coming into the next podcast with a black eye or nothing at all.
Bit of motivation, I like it. Bit of forced motivation.
Take that motivation
Yeah,
into
won't
the
be
week.
for me.
Yeah.
I'll be sending you to Nelson's sparring sessions.
That's the 167 podcast. That was Ryan Pappenhausen. Now that he's not playing for the Melbourne Storm, he's pretty happy to pick the Wires, isn't he?
My favorite comment on that was like, maybe we wouldn't be playing so shit if you didn't walk out on your $800,000 a year contract. Honestly, it's like, yeah, well, he was trying to chase. I don't know. He said he retired, but he was clearly trying to go to Rugby 360 and just cash out, which is fair enough. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's. I mean, they probably are missing players. They probably are missing someone like him at the back as well. Suafa'alonga is a great player, but the Storm they've looked pretty average in the last 3 games.
Yeah, but they are still the Melbourne Storm, and you stack up 13 of those purple jerseys and they seem to go good. They're definitely a bogey team of ours. I don't know whether they removed them from being our Anzac Day matchup because they were giving us a hiding every year or not. I guess we'll never know. But every year...
We gave it to the Titans, and the Titans beat us on Anzac Day as well. So
fucking
now...
held us, yeah.
Yeah. And then, I can't remember who it was last year, but we beat them. The Knights.
Knights.
We took the Knights, but then the Knights signed Ponga and Dylan Brown, so we're like, you know what? We'll get the Dolphins this year.
Yeah. Jeez, we probably would have lined up the bloody Tigers at the start of the year if we had been asked. How'd you go? How do we beat the Storm?
Mate, I was doing a bit of astrology sort of research, and I came across a great fact that April 25th, 2014, when the Warriors last beat the Storm in Melbourne, it was a waning crescent moon.
Mm-hmm.
This Saturday, on April 11th, 11 years, 11 months, and 17 days since that last win, there will be a waning crescent moon shining over the Warriors playing the Storm. That's via Stat Hub. I definitely didn't find that one myself. But
yes, no, I saw this one this morning. Are they neglecting the fact that there's been 13 other waning crescent moons between then and now? Maybe. But look, I'm in.
We're taking any bit of faith, any bit of hope into this game because, the last time we beat the Melbourne Storm, 2015, it was at Mount Smart Stadium when Nathan Friend did that amazing backflip and Tui Lolohea scored in the corner. But yeah, it is bizarre because, I mean, for the 5 years after that, all the Aussie media, they used to say, oh, yeah, the Storm's bogey team is the Warriors.
Yeah, they get up for this fixture.
Get up for this one. And yeah, it's getting sad now. So hopefully we can break the 17-game drought. And I mean, yeah, they're going to be fired up because I don't think they've lost 4 games in a row for a very long time. And Craig Bellamy will have them absolutely ready to go.
Or will they let go of the rope because they've been scrubbed out of the competition after going down 50-10 against the Panthers? That means they cannot win the competition this year, and all they do at Melbourne is play for titles. So if the title's off the table, do they tank for the rest of the season?
They could do. I mean, it's a big possibility. But yeah, they are missing. And I mean, they're missing the likes of Pappenhausen. I reckon they're missing Eli Katoa so badly.
Yeah.
Like, he was, I mean, one of the form back rows of the whole comp last year. Such a sad situation that happened to him. Even Nelson Asofa Solomona, he's just there. Now he's just beating up fat guys, old ex NRL players. But it's probably like if the Warriors are ever going to beat the Storm, this could be the weekend. But we just need to make sure we don't let them fire early because, I think last year when we played them in Melbourne, they were up about 42-0.
And you can't let teams get up 42-0.
Yeah, you cannot. You cannot. So I think we'll probably win 13 plus, but I don't know. What do you reckon?
Yeah, no, 100% agree with you. 13 plus, Waz back on track. And I feel bad for Luke Metcalf's the victim in all of this because if we win this, it's back to Tanner Boyd for Māori's captain. We're better off with Luke Metcalf. Who needs Mitch Barnett?
Yeah, and I think Chanel Harris-Tavita as well. Like in his first couple games where he played before he did get knocked out, like he was playing some good footy. I think it's actually only one game in about 10 minutes. But he was looking like a great player. In that Roosters game, he scored a double. He was working well with Roger Tuivasa-Sheck on the wing. He seemed like he was a bit more level-headed, doing some smarter stuff, taking the good tackles. So you never know. He might be the Warriors 6 moving forward.
Yeah, it's almost like we need 15 players out on our field because we've got a good team and then we need to fit Tane Tuapiki and Luke Metcalf in there. And it's like, how the hell do we fit all of these dudes in? It's a long season. I think 13 plus, Waz put another 50-point dropping on the Melbourne Storm. They get up for this one. We'll take a quick break and then we'll have a whip around the NRL. All right, our mates at 4-20 have come and clutched this Waz season. They're giving away the ultimate game day experience. I'm talking flights, accommodation, match tickets, and a 4 and 20 merch pack. This prize is so good you'll actually wash your Warriors jersey for it. Text PIE to 3236 to get the link to enter, and that is all thanks to 4 and 20 Pies, the original fan food. Let's have a whip around the NRL, the biggest stories of the week. I think for me, one of the biggest stories has been the 24 hours that Reece Walsh had after that game. So obviously he gets smoked in the head. I think, is that his third cheek fracture? He's already got a metal plate in his face. He gets it stitched back up. He's straight away back on Instagram out in the hospital parking lot, pushing someone's ute, trying to push start a ute, still in his full Warriors kit. I will note, though, he was pushing with one arm and filming himself, so I don't know how much help he was there.
I did think that. I wish he was wearing a Warriors kit. I think it was a Broncos kit, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, I did think. I wonder how much work he was actually doing.
Did I see he was hoeing into someone on TikTok or something afterwards as well?
I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
He's dangerously active on Instagram. I thought after the sort of the toilet water offence, him punching his mate in the face offence, and whatever it was, offences, I thought they'd have someone like handling his social media for him, but they don't.
No.
And, it seems like he's one more fractured cheekbone away from doing something bad on social media.
Vaping in the sheds at halftime. It was funny because the last thing you saw of him was he was filming himself sucking on the green whistle, and then the next thing you see him, presumably still off the effects of the green whistle now, trying to push start some bloke's van, ute.
Yeah.
Apa Twidle, one of the all-time rugby league names, a name of consequence. He makes his debut over there in Sydney and scores 2 on debut. How good is that?
Yeah. The first one was just like the greatest try you'll ever see. It was unbelievable. I had no idea who it was. It went on, he scored the try, and it said his name was Tihiranui Twidle. So I think that's his full name. And so his middle name was something that's Apa, so he's taken Apa.
It's another KL Edo situation.
But he's a hearty Māori boy as well. He's from Nguruawahia, New Zealand, moved to the Broncos when he was 16 years old. Played for the SG Bulls Eels team that won the grand final last year. Apparently full of young guns as well. He's listed as a halfback, like no bio or anything in the NRL, and then he just comes out and scores 2 tries in about 3 minutes in what was an unbelievable Easter Monday game as well.
Yeah, and then a head knock, I think. So I think he's out for the next week. And isn't that just the most rugby league debut of all time?
It was, and Vossi and Mickey was just going crazy. Like I think it was 30,000 people at CommBank. It was so loud. I don't know if it's just it's a stadium that keeps the noise in as well.
Yeah,
you can hardly even hear Vossi just in the background. He's just like, "Oh, it's the greatest game of all time. It's the greatest storyline. How good does it get?" But it was it's goosebump stuff.
It reminds me of Charlie Staines when he burst on the scene for the Panthers. Remember, because he had his whole family in the corner. And then there was the pub in his hometown that was giving out free beers every time he scored a try. They ended up.
Did he score 5?
He scored like 5, and then they had to put a sign up out the front of the thing saying, "Please stop scoring tries, Charlie. We're going under."
Yeah. Oh no, that's great. And I mean,
where is Charlie Staines these days?
He's in the Super League. There was a video of him last week playing fullback, scoring. I think it was for Catalan Dragons, scoring like 100-meter try. The Super League, and everyone's just like, where was this for every game besides your debut? But in that Eels Tigers game, when Bailey Simonson went down with an injury, which brought Twidle on, it was like a horrific injury, which they don't like to show.
I wish they didn't.
And then clearly the Fox cameraman didn't realize that it had shown, and they did like the slow-mo on it, and it was just one of the most gruesome things you've ever seen.
It was the full foot backwards.
Yeah. I know. And then, there was all the controversy. Should Luke Lally have been sent off or sin bin and banned because of that? People are saying, he's only banned because of the injury. It's like, mate, that seems like a pretty fair enough reason to get banned after snapping this guy's leg, and he's probably going to be out for the rest of the season. Yeah,
meanwhile, Adam Pompey's got to do 2 weeks for God knows what. You know? It's a bit of a crock. So Apa Twidle's one we've got to be in there.
Yeah.
It's the biggest moments of the weekend. Otherwise, relatively uneventful weekend in the National Rugby League, you'd have to say.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the Good Friday game in between the Rabbitohs and the Bulldogs is always a big game. I think there's about 60,000 people who go out to a call for it. It's next to the Easter show in Sydney, and the Bulldogs fans, they show up. But it's kind of grim scenes at the moment for the Bulldogs as well. After finishing fourth last year, then they got straight setted by the Storm in Penrith or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like
a few injury concerns.
They were looking so good, and then Lachie Galvin came in, and then honestly, pretty much everything's been turned since Lachie Galvin came in, which is it's a shame.
Has any team been better off for stealing one of the Bulldogs players? You'd have to say no.
Yeah,
Tigers players. Sorry,
I don't, because it's crazy, because since Lachie Galvin left the Tigers have just absolutely shot up, and they're now this great team.
Luai left as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
Jock Madden,
the
shock jock he's playing, and yeah, like a lot of they have a passionate Western Sydney fan base, the Bulldogs, but it seems like every time the Bulldogs lose, the rest of Australia is just celebrating. And I was thinking, is there a team that brings you joy when you see them losing the NRL?
There's a few. There is a few. Obviously there's the ones that, like the Broncos, the Storm, the Roosters. Any team that you've always got a bit of suspicion around brown paper bags or salary sombrero type situations, you see those guys lose, feels good. But also for me, the Tigers, I just feel like they don't deserve happiness in any way. And so anytime you can see them lose, and you've been able to see quite a lot of it over the last few years, it always feels good. That's why it hurt so much when we lost against them. But for me, it's the Tigers. Outside of the obvious ones, because I think no one likes to see those guys win all the time.
Yeah, true. And I mean, I don't think we're going to see Penrith lose for the rest of the year. Maybe the rest of the century. They're playing that good at the moment.
Yeah, who is it for you? So did you say most of is it Sydney? They love seeing the Bulldogs lose?
Well, there's a lot of, there's a big Eastern-Western divide. Like, there's a lot of people that a lot of people from West Sydney love seeing the Roosters lose because they're just like, fuck, these posh, bloody Bondi, hot looking dudes and stuff. And then, I mean, I think it goes both ways as well. They're just like, they're just these, I don't know, these feral Western Sydney Bulldogs fans. And there's a lot of like NRL influences on that support the Bulldogs that go very, very hard. And when they when they're banging the drums, and they're quite up themselves. So, I mean, I don't mind seeing the Bulldogs lose, even though it is my good close personal friend Marcelo Montoya's team as well. So hopefully this doesn't get back. Hopefully it doesn't get back to him.
Yeah. Time for our TAB hunch this weekend. We are going on the Wars. We're going the Wars to cover the line, which is 9.5. Will Warbrick, anytime try scorer, future Warrior, and Leka Halasima, who's due for another try anytime, over 47.5 points. If we're going to lose that bet, Joel, what do you reckon is the leg that's going to trip us up?
Will Warbrick, mate, because we're taking them 13 plus, and I don't think they're going to score at all. It's a tough one. Betting on the Warrior is always a tough one. I mean, that is the whole point of this TAB promotion.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just.
I know what you mean.
A line bet is a good bet for the Warriors because, like in that Tigers game, when you put a big sum of money on, and everyone's like Warriors 13 plus, Leka, Tanner,
50.
DWZ, and then I mean Chris Key showed this. He didn't hit one bet in that pop thing he was doing.
Yeah, and he knows his footy.
And he knows how to punt, and he knows his footy. But to be fair, I don't think anyone would have landed a bet that game.
I didn't.
Leka, I didn't.
Just
sure, but
just ask my
I don't think I
missus.
have all season. Yeah, but no, Leka, he is due. I think he should be able to put a try on the board. But I think Roger's due as well. I can't remember the last time we saw Roger cross the line.
No, I can't either. I think he might be as well. I'm just trying to think of.
It was probably that Roosters game at the start of the year. I think it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be good to see. Good to see the man Roger score, and I think it'd just be good to see the Warriors win in Melbourne because there should be a good contingent of Kiwi fans over there celebrating the boys, and hopefully we just hold it on, and we can be talking on this podcast next week about how the Titans are going to get it.
Yeah, you watch. There'll be 5 people on the podcast next week if we win. How are you going in Supercoach? Are you shitting the bed like I am?
I've actually taken a bit of a different route this year, and I'm playing NRL fantasy, which probably is no help. But I'm still monitoring the Supercoach, and it's exactly the same. But I'm not doing too bad. I was ranked in the top 1,000 players out of about 250k last week. But yeah, who are the players you're looking at targeting this week?
Well, the biggest
Alex Twidle.
Alex Twidle is one in Supercoach. In fact, as I look at the thing now, most traded in not on my team is Alex Twidle. People are getting sucked in by Turbo again. I don't trust him. I'm not willing to be hurt again. But with Reece Walsh out for the next sort of 3-4 weeks, you can't afford to be carrying. He's at 740k on your bench. So a lot of people going from him to Turbo. And then the other one is tear your team apart to get Cleary and Hines in if you didn't start with them already, which I didn't, and I feel that's stupid. I mean, you're going to finish the season with Cleary. Start with him. You know what I mean? I've really outbuilt myself there.
That is the one. That's one of the good moves I made. I bought Cleary in straight away, and he's just paying dividends. But Payne Haas, I dropped him, and that sort of worked out well because he's clearly monitoring some injury.
Yeah. When you came on the other day and said, I think he could be out for a bit longer than people think, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to take that and run with it. And I dropped him.
Yeah.
And then when they named him, I was like, you bastards. But I think it was still the right decision for the amount of money that he's carrying.
Yeah, he didn't. I know in fantasy he scored about half the usual points he normally does as well.
Yeah, same in Supercoach. So
yeah, maybe I helped turn a few people's season around.
Yeah, crystal ball. Most traded out, Jonah Pezzett's in there, Trey Mooney, Dave Fafuda, Daniel Atkinson. It's all those sort of speculators that you took a flyer on at the start of the season and just haven't come through.
Yeah, and Arama Howe, the Titans back rower, he's someone that's been awesome for me.
Yeah,
he looks like a great player. He's 21. He's a Kiwi as well, so he could be one to watch maybe on the Warriors signing radar.
Yeah, massive cash cow as well in Supercoach. The other one is basically any Tigers outside back. You can make a lot of money off that at the moment as they play outside back roulette. Simi Sasangi's the other one that everyone's trying to get in on at the moment, and then sort out those big bobbers.
He's a star as well. I mean, we haven't really talked too much. I know we're talking Supercoach at the moment, but the Raiders, their fall off is quite remarkable. Like they were the minor premiers, and they've won, I think, 1 out of their last 9 games since winning the minor premiership.
It was the
Broncos game.
The triple loss against the Broncos, man. I can't remember. I know we've talked about it on this podcast a few times before, but someone bumped into Ricky Stewart at a dinner. You know the story?
Yes.
And he brought up, have you ever seen a game like that? I honestly reckon it took some of their mana, that game. And they haven't been able to find it again.
I know. And then they lost their halfback, and it's kind of the only player they've lost. And they're a broken side at the moment.
Yeah.
And I thought they would turn it around against the Knights, and they just got absolutely humped.
But you're right. Simi Sasangi, not only is he Supercoach and fantasy star, but he looks the goods in person as well. The eye test,
100%,
if you will.
Yeah. He's what a guy. Sign him up to the Warriors. He could be the centre / edge that we need.
Yeah. Well, I see another storyline saying that they're looking at Timoko.
I think they were offered Timoko, but it sounds like they weren't too keen on him. From my understanding, that they were trying to finalise the Grant Anderson deal instead of Timoko.
Is Grant Anderson what we? I mean, I know we need to keep our stocks of ruthless Parkour boys up, but I don't know. I don't know if Grunt is the move.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He sort of hasn't actually played that much because he was sort of stuck behind a couple of good centres and wingers when he was playing in the Storm side, and he got injured from that brutal knee grass cut from Salon Cobbo, so he's out for the next 3 months. So he's got a dangerously bad MCL coming into the Warriors, but that's the type of player that we'll take on board, and we'll make sure we protect at all costs.
And we'll pay him the overs. All right. Anything else you wanted to whip around, Joel, before we knock this thing on the head?
Yeah, I think the last one was, even though I know it's not the TAB hunch of the week, but I saw the DILF that people were calling him, Angus Crichton. He just had his first child with his lovely partner, his wife, and they named it Sullivan Hughes Crichton And there's a bit of, I don't know how much you believe in omen betting, but it could be the sure thing of the weekend. It's paying about $130. So if you put $1 on, you get 130 return. And it's anytime try scorer Sean O'Sullivan, Jerome Hughes, and Angus Crichton. Get that on. It could be the multi of the month.
Yeah, brilliant. That's real Lux Hoover Dyson sort of areas. Sullivan, Hughes, Crichton.
Sullivan, it's a great rugby league name. We'll probably see him running out for the Roosters in the next 20 years.
He'll be debuting and scoring a double. Brilliant. Thanks very much for joining us, Pantsman, and we'll see you next week. Enjoy your weekend of footy, and we'll see you again down the track.
An Australia without rugby league is not Australia.